All right. Hello, everybody. How are you guys? I hope you guys are good. Hope you're having a great day or night, depending on where you are. Okay, so we're going to get into this and talk a little bit about the odd text messages, or what I find odd, the odd text messages and the very strange 911 call. Um, so many things just seem off to me. And listen, all I can do is just express my opinion, express my thoughts, and, you know, go from there. Hey, Outer Banks. Thank you guys for coming in. It's just so crazy. Like, and even now, we're only getting little bits and pieces. So it's so crazy. Like, we're going to get into that, but I don't. I know there's probably 90% of people that think this case is a slam dunk, and they've got everything they need, but I have questions. There's things that don't make sense to me that I just want to talk about. Now, before I even get started, you know, I there is no excuse. There were four lives that were lost. Four lives that were lost in this tragedy. Okay? So I'm not being insensitive to that at all by any means. Um I just want to talk about these things that don't make sense to me. That's what I do. I talk about things that don't make sense. And you guys can join in the conversation with me, and, maybe we can talk it out. Maybe there's something that I'm not getting. Maybe there's something that I'm not seeing that other people are. So that's what these whole live discussions are for. I will say my husband thinks 100% that he's definitely involved. He's like, I don't know. He thinks there may be others involved, but he definitely thinks that Brian is guilty, and that he's got psychopathic tendencies, and which I agree with. But there's and I know, and I'm not, I know there's a lot of people that have been like bashing the surviving roommates, and there's a lot of people that have been trolling them and going after them, whatever. I have not been a part of that. There's a reason why I have not. I touched on this case in the very beginning, and then I didn't, and there's a reason for that. Okay. But I feel now that these text messages have come out, the 911 calls come out, there's things that I think need to be discussed and brought up for discussion. So, all of your opinions are welcome here. If you have a different opinion, listen, don't be afraid to voice it. Okay. As long as everyone's respectful, we're good. All right. So, let me pull this up. First, I'm going to talk about the 911 call. Okay. Well, I want to make this, let me see right here. Okay. So, at this point, EA and HJ, I don't know who HJ is. I could not find who this person was. So I don't know if at this point they're just being, I don't know if it was a neighbor. I don't know if it's, but they're only being identified as HJ as far as I can tell. So if you guys know who that is, definitely let me know. But at this point, I don't know. But this is what I want to say. So HJ is the one that discovered Xana's body. Okay. Which is important because they discover her body, and they say that she is passed out and unresponsive. Okay. Let's get it down here to the transcript. All right. Good afternoon, Lexi Lynn. All right, so let me get over here. Let me see if that's better for you guys. Yeah, that's better. Hey, Bex. Who is Hunter Johnson, though? Who is that? Is he a neighbor? Like, who is that? Do we know who that is? As you come in, guys, please hit that like button for me. Show your support. I was waiting to see if Bex answered me back. I believe neighbors and best friends. Okay. 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 That's fine. Okay. So let's talk about this. Whoa, that's too big. Okay. There we go. All right. So they called 911. Okay. Now this is a woman, a one woman, a two. Okay. Something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what. So it goes down to the address. House and apartment. Okay. I just want to get to the main part. So this is the so A1 is the neighbor. I'll talk to you guys. We live at the right, so we're next to them. So it's the house next to them. What's the phone number? Okay. Tell me exactly what's going on. So A1. This is so she says, one of our, and then she stops. One of the roommates who's passed out and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up. And then here comes A. So this is one of the roommates in the house. No, we saw. Okay. Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. And then here's the roommate talking. Hi. And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone. Stop passing it around. A says, "Can I just tell you what happened pretty much? What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?" So you have a roommate who's trying to go into what happened. But the lady's like, "Listen, you called for an unresponsive person. So let's talk about this unresponsive person. What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?" I don't really know, which, so this roommate says, "I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m." Then she says, "Okay, I need to know what's going on right now. If someone is passed out, can you find that out?" "Yeah, I'll come. Come on, we got to go check, but we have to. Is she passed out?" "She's passed out. What's wrong?" Then they dispatch the ambulance. "She's not waking up. Unconsciousness, 1122 King Road, 70 en route." Okay. "One moment. I'm getting help started that way." Multiple RPs, multiple reporting parties on the phone, advice saying the roommate is on scene, is passed out and not waking up. Believes she got drunk last night, and then something about a male being in the room with them, which Ethan was in Xana's room, but he was actually found, we've said, right outside the doorway or in the doorway. Which this is why it's so confusing to me. Okay. Um, yeah, it's okay. How old is she? She is 20. 20, you said? Yes. Here, do you want to talk to them? Going back and forth again. Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people already. Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone. Is she breathing? No. Okay. Now, Bethany or Dylan, I need you to talk to them. I can't talk to them. I need you to talk to them. So then this person gets on the phone. I have I have already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the phone. Is there a defibrillator available? Send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. Units responding. The patient is not conscious, not breathing. Okay, if there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. We don't have one. Unconscious, not breathing. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes. Yes, we have one. So first person said no, then they said yes, we have one. Are you talking to the officer? Yes. Okay, I'm going to let you go since the officer is there. Blah, blah, blah. Now, this person that found Xana, okay, here's the thing. They found Xana and they called 911. They said she was passed out from the night before. But we were told that Ethan was in the doorway, right? Or right outside the doorway. And when there is no mention of a stabbing, blood, or anything of the sort during this 911 call, just an unconscious, passed out person. This is where I get like, what is going on? Because the person who found Xana, which is this HJ, they would have had to have seen Ethan before they got to Xana. Why was all this blood and this bludgeoning not reported on the 911 call? Like, these are the things that I'm like, this makes no sense. Because they would have had to have gone past Ethan to get into Xana's room. This makes no sense to me. Sorry, let me see. Ethan's best friend. HJ was on a lot of the body cam footage at the house. He was the boyfriend of Xana's friend, Emily, per Facebook post, and they indicate he's the best friend of Ethan. Okay, so this person would have had to have gone past Ethan in order to get to Xana. That's the thing, right? So I don't understand this 911 call at all. Why are we calling about an unconscious, passed out individual referring to Xana? And there's no mention of Ethan on the floor stabbed. There's no mention of blood. Is there something that I am not getting? Because this makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, I don't understand how this is even a thing right now. Now, I want to get out of here. I mean, what do you guys think? Ethan and Xana were in the room together. Ethan was found, according to what we were told, in the doorway. So whoever found Xana would have had to have gone past Ethan, right? I mean, it's not. I don't get this, and why there was no mention of any of this on the 911 call. Well, what we were told was that Ethan was killed out in the doorway area, going towards the hallway. That's what we were told in the beginning. And it makes no sense to me because they would have seen him first. And not to mention all of the blood all of the blood that was shed that night. I don't understand why the 911 call is about an unconscious person. Oh, see, now we're going to have to look. No, I'm pretty sure that Ethan was in the hall and Xana was in the bedroom, but now you're going to make me go look. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Okay, let me see. This says okay, what Ethan is said to have been lying on the floor on the second level of the three-story building. Um, I just don't want to get any. I don't want to get this wrong, so I wanted to go check. Yeah, he was in like by the door in Xana's room. That's what this says. But I want to make sure I had it right. Um, Give me a second, guys. Give me just a second. Can Let me do this real quick, and I'll tell you. Don't go anywhere. Um, I'm talking to a detective right now. Give me 1 second. Okay, let me come back to you guys. So I'm waiting for that response. Yeah, I don't. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand why there was no mention of all this blood during the 911 call. Because okay, let's say either way, it wouldn't matter. Either way, whether or not Xana's body was there by the door or Ethan's body was by the door, both were stabbed. And there's no mention of any blood during the 911 call. There's no mention of a stabbing, no mention of blood, no mention of any of that, except an unconscious person who was passed out from being drunk the night before. So there's just something that doesn't sit right with me in all of this. And there's also the fact that the 911 call came in so freaking late. So late. We're going to get into the text messages, but you have the surviving roommates that were texting back and forth right after the murders. So from the time that they texted, or she, I'm sorry, but from the time that she texted the Uber driver, which that still doesn't make any sense to me, to the time that the murders had just finished, there was no text going back and forth between anybody. And then these text messages started back up again between the two roommates right after the murders. And listen, again, I'm not trying to be insensitive to the issue, to what happened. Okay? I'm really not trying to be. And I'm not trying to push blame where blame is not needed. What I am curious about and what doesn't sit right with me is that the roommate's story has changed from the very beginning. At the very beginning, they were sleeping. She was sleeping. And then it came out that, okay, she wasn't sleeping. She was awake and didn't hear anything. And then the next one was like, okay, well, I saw someone in the house. Okay, well, you saw, and now we know that they were texting during this. Oh, and it was, and the second one was, well, she was in shock. She saw the person. She was in shock. She went in her room. She was in shock. She was in freeze state. She couldn't move, couldn't think, couldn't do anything, couldn't think to call 911, right? But guys, I just don't see the slam dunk that everybody else sees. And I don't know why, but something just does not sit right with me about this. And I will say this, I don't know if a lot of you remember or not. I thought the 911 call was for unconscious person because of what that person seen in the house. They couldn't speak of what they saw. I might be wrong. Well, that's the thing though, right? They saw an unconscious person. But HJ in the filing, which I can show you right now, HJ is the one who discovered Xana's body. Again, no mention of the blood. And during the 911 call, they were like, I need you to go see if this person is breathing. That, during they had him go see that. They're like, I need to know if this person is breathing or not. So they went to go see. And they came again, no mention of any blood. Why? Like, you would think that it would be you'd be like, holy, oh my god, there's freaking blood, like there's blood everywhere. Like, I don't know what happened, but you guys need to get here because there is blood everywhere. But there's just no mention of that. So to me, something is not right. Thank you, Lexi. Okay, let me see if they got back to me. Okay, yes, Ethan came out of the room to check and he was killed right there in the hallway. Xana was killed in the room. Okay, right here. Let me read this to you. So HJ is Hunter Johnson murder victim Ethan Chapin's best friend. He was called to 1122 by the surviving roommates in the morning. It is believed HJ entered the bedrooms to discover the scene beyond, keeping the others at arm's length away from the horror. But even HJ did not report that there was blood. HJ did not report that on the 911 call, and he was there. Okay, now let me go to these messages. Let me just show you real quick. Let me scroll up here and I'll show you this. I gotta zoom out for a second. That's too freaking close. Okay. HJ located the unresponsive body of Xander Kernodle and informed BF and DM to call 911. So they called this friend, Ethan's best friend. They called him before they even called 911. We know they placed multiple calls before 911. We know there were people there before 911 got there. So HJ located the unresponsive body of Xander Kernodle and informed BF and DM to call 911. he discovered Xana's body, meaning he had to have walked past Ethan's body and saw the blood on Ethan and from Xana's body, and none of that was reported on the 911 call. Like, that is not, that's, something is way, way wrong here. Something is not right. Why wasn't that mentioned on the call? Like, that just makes no sense. You wouldn't call and say, listen, we have an unresponsive person in the house that's passed out. They were drunk last night. You would call and say, holy shit, dude, you guys need to get here. Like, it's crazy. Especially from the amount of, now here's another thing that doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to go look, I'm going to pull up the text messages in just a second, but here's this thing. So you have these two roommates who, one claims to have seen someone dressed in all black with a ski mask, okay? And then she goes on and she's she's texting her other roommate back and forth, right? So then whatever happens, they said they went to sleep, whatever. They woke up the next day and she was already texting again at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So this makes no sense. So you have someone that comes over and that checks and sees that Xana, there was no mention of this on the 911 call. But anyway, so you have people that come over to the home. You've tried calling Maddie. You've tried calling Kaylee. No answer, no response from either one of them. You know that they're up in their room. So why on earth you wouldn't send someone up there to check on them, or why you wouldn't go up there to check on them yourself, is beyond me. Why, when you saw, I get it. It was a party house. It was, it was a party house. I'll just leave it there. So there was people, all kinds of people up and through there all the freaking time. And someone said that, yeah, they pranked each other a lot. It was just a fun environment. But you see a guy, or you see someone dressed in all black with a ski mask on, right? And all of your friends that are home are unresponsive. You can't get a hold of any of them. And you wake up the next day, you're texting, you're calling, you're doing this, you're doing that. And then eventually you call 911. But in those hours, you never bothered to go up and check on the other two. That just doesn't, there is something wrong, guys, with that. There is something wrong. No, we just have the transcript as far as I know. Their feet would also have been sticking to the floor. They would have seen it, smelled it, and felt it when they walked. How could they ignore all the senses that would have been impacted? Yeah, I know. And God, I talked to someone before I even did this live, because I was like, people are going to take what I say the wrong way. And I'm totally not trying to be an insensitive asshole. And I've said this to Chad. I'm like, this is why I don't make videos about this case, because something's not right here. Something is way off. And I don't, I'm like within the 10% of people that think something's fishy here. 90% of people think this is slam dunk, boom, got it. And I just think something's not right. So let's get to these messages. Let me pull this up. Figure out which one it is here. Sorry, I got so many tagged up here. I don't want to pull up the wrong one. Okay, I think it's this one right here. Okay. And another thing that is weird is not everybody is posting the full messages. Like I've seen a lot of people that are posting the main group of messages from 422 to 424, but then not a whole lot of people are posting the bottom messages from the next day. Where Dylan texts, "I'm screwed," and Bethany's like, "Yeah, I know." Something about, but it's better than being alone or something like that. But let me pull these up. There definitely is, Lexi. There definitely is. Okay. In the case at bars starting on November 13th, 2022 at 2:10 a.m., Dylan sends a text message to the Uber driver to inquire if he is driving, which is weird to me. I mean, but whatever. The state submits this text message exchange is not hearsay because it will not be offered for the truth of the matter asserted. Okay. Instead, will be offered to show a timeline for the night, i.e., DM was awake and texting at 2:10 a.m. Now, nothing from 2:10 a.m. till 4:19 p.m. after the murders were done. From 4:19 to 4:21, DM attempts to call Bethany, Xana, Kaylee, and Madison. All calls were unanswered. So she even called Bethany. Oh, what the? She even called Bethany and she didn't answer. What in the world? Guys, I don't know what's happening. Stop. Okay. Weird. All right, give me a second. I don't know what's going on here. Oh my God. Oh boy. I don't even know if you guys can hear me. Everything just went down. What the? Can we? Oh, all right. Give me a second, y'all. I do not know what is happening. Dude. Wow. Okay. Back to where we were. So from 422 to 424, DM and BF send the following text messages. So Dylan, no one is answering. I'm really confused right now. DM to Gon calls to Kaylee. What's going on? Bethany. Yeah, dude. What the F? Xana was wearing all black. See, I don't get that either. Why that's even in there. So I don't know if we're getting, like, we're missing. There's text in between that we're not getting. But Bethany says Xana was wearing all black. DM to BF. I'm freaking out right now. DM to BF. No, it's like ski mask almost. Bethany says STFU. Bethany says actually DM to BF. Like he had something over his forehead and a round mouth. I'm not kidding. I am so freaked out. Bethany says, so am I. DM says, my phone is going to die. F. BF to DM, come to my room, run down here. I do not get it. And then the next day, when they wake up in the morning, there are texts between them where she says, I am so screwed right now, which I don't understand. Like, we're getting little bits and pieces, but we're not getting the whole puzzle. And obviously we won't get the whole puzzle until trial happens. But just releasing these little bits of things is not very helpful. All it does is raise more questions. Like, if you're in shock, if you just seen a masked person in your house and you know you can't get a hold of any of your friends, any of your roommates, you can't get a hold of nobody, and you just saw this person in your house, and you if you were in shock, you would not be texting back and forth with someone. And why not immediately call 911? Even if I've heard people say, well, they didn't want to call she didn't want to call 911 because they thought, well, what if it's a prank, or, what if it's just somebody messing around, or, who cares? Would have been my thing. Like, I just saw some freak in my house and no, I can't get a hold of none of my roommates. Like, why are we not calling 911? And then, guys, and then the worst thing is that silence until from whatever time these messages got done, 4:25 in the morning, up until 10 in the morning when the texting started again. Again, you wake up, you don't check around your house. You call all these people. You don't check around your house, though. You don't go upstairs, check the rooms. You don't check anything. It makes no sense to me. Something is not right about this story, and that's all I'm trying to say. Is something is very, very sketchy between the roommates and the story. Let's see. Hey, Broken Wings. Hey, Bear. Did she go to BF's room? Oh, I don't know. Let me see what I missed here. I think being that young and people coming in and out, no one knows what or how they will react in certain situations. They were young. They don't think like a 40-year-old would. They could have thought it was a hazing or a prank. Who knows? But those girls didn't do anything wrong. I'm sorry. This is so weird. They didn't call police that night, but she's so scared she falls asleep. I don't get it. Either there is hours between text and 911 call. Broken. They need to explain why no 911 call. She didn't even check on her friends. She didn't go look. If she was out partying the night of, then hiding in her room till she felt safe enough to come out, she would have fallen asleep, especially not knowing what had truly happened. No, she texted the Uber driver. Or yeah, Uber driver. Yeah. Um if she did, she would have had blood on her feet. Then why was she scared when she seen him? I am telling you that none of this, in my opinion, now again, this is just my opinion, none of this makes any sense to me whatsoever. I understand, you know, at 20 years old, you might not have, good Lord, you might not have, the wisdom and the knowledge that you'll have when you're 40. I get that. But if you're really freaked out, truly freaked out, are you really not going to call 911? Are you going to keep texting back and forth with your friend? And then what really gets me though is the next day. The next day you get up, you call people over, people come over, people discover the body of Xana, which means they had to have walked past the body of Ethan. There would have been blood everywhere, but no mention of blood on the 911 call. That to me is the biggest red flag. Like, why? First of all, you started calling people at 10 o'clock in the morning. What time did 911 call? What time did 911 get called? Was it like noon or 1 or something like that? It's somewhere between noon and 1 o'clock. If it's a college party house or hazing, she wouldn't have been scared. We know Xana fought, and if she went first, then did they come in and she got her Uber or DoorDash and they heard nothing? I could have swore it was 1, but again, it's been so freaking long. But you could be right. It could have been 2. But let's say even if it was, then it makes no, that's all I want to say. All I want to do is point out that this shit doesn't make any sense. And I'm not attacking the roommates. I'm not blaming them for anything. I'm not attacking them for anything. I'm just stating that, not for nothing, but they have had conflicting stories since the beginning. We've heard 3 different stories from them. And then we get the 911 call, and the 911 call makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Why wait so long? If you had people coming over earlier in the day, why did it take so long for you to call 911? The math is not mathing. That's all. And guys, I'll say it again. I'm not trying to sound insensitive. I understand the tragedy of what happened in that house that night. I understand that. Another thing that I did want to mention was the 3 different DNA found under Maddie's nails. I thought that was weird. But here's one thing, guys, and this has stuck with me since the very beginning, and I want to bring it up now. The one thing that has always stuck to me since the very beginning of this case. Do you guys remember the clip of Kaylee and Maddie walking with the guy? Can't remember his name. I can't remember his name. They were walking, and she says, one of them goes, "Well, what did you say?" And they were like, "I told Adam everything." And then the guy goes, "They're going to get you for that." Do you guys remember that? Because to this day, that still sticks into my head. So she says, "Yeah, I told Adam everything. They're going to get you for that." And that night, everybody ended up being killed. I don't understand the texting of the Uber driver. I don't get it. And that could be. That very well could be. We don't know that, but that very well could be. I mean, lots of drugs went up and through that house. It was a freaking frat house. I mean, not a frat house. It was a party house. That's true. It doesn't take hours to get rid of that. And then, can we for 1 second talk about the 3 dudes who showed up there after the fact? This was after the murders. The 3 dudes that showed up there, one was in a cowboy hat, one was in a regular hat. They went into the home. They grabbed stuff and walked back out and got into their vehicle. They were in one vehicle. Does anybody else remember seeing that? Oh, I'm sorry, Bear. What was rumored to be hazing? I might have missed something. I think there's a lot of stuff, and I'm not even going to say it here. I think there's a lot of stuff that happened behind the scenes that has not been brought to light, um, as to what as to the cause of why something might have happened. This is a crazy, crazy case, and I just don't think it's this cut and dry as people have made it out to be, in my opinion. But that will forever be in my mind when she said, "I told Adam everything." And they were like, they'll get you for that. That guy was like, they're gonna get you, is what he said, or something along those lines. If any of you guys can find that clip for me, will you find it and send it to me? Lexi, you call someone to pick it up, but it's your friend's life. Throw that shit in a car and save your friends. Yeah, I don't know. All I know is the things that I mentioned to you guys. Something is not right with this. I do believe Brian is responsible, but more people are involved. See, yeah, I just don't think it's as cut and dry as they made it out. I don't think they have the slam dunk that they are thinking that they do. And that could be, Lexi, because at 20, I mean, at 20 years old, right? You're you're worried about, if there was something like that, you'd be worried. You'd be like, okay, I got to get this out of that. We got to get this out of the, I don't want to get in trouble for this. I could lose my scholarship. I could get kicked out of school. I could, this could ruin my whole life. That's probably how they were thinking. I want the clip of Kaylee and Maddie walking with that guy. And it was caught on that camera. And they're walking with the guy. They're walking like they're walking towards us. And they had just left the bar. And she was like, I told Adam everything. Well, I can't. One of the girls, and I can't remember which one it was, goes, what did you say? And she goes, I told Adam everything. And the guy goes, oh, they're going to get you. And that was it. Like, then they walked out of camera. But that to me is important. And I in the beginning, it got kind of like washed over, like it wasn't important. But to me, that always stood out to me, because it's like, you just told someone a bunch of stuff. I told him everything. So she just confided in someone with a bunch of information. And then, somebody's like, oh, they're not going to be happy. They're going to get you. And then they end up dead that night. Congratulations being in recovery. That's good. Good for you. A lot of people don't have the willpower to do that. Yes, thank you. Maddie, what did you say to Adam? I told him everything. I need to find that. Where is it? I need to find that. Is there someone, can one of you guys send it to my X account so I can pull it up, or no? I'm the CNY family on X. But yeah, that to me has always stood out as something, and still to this day, I believe that has something to do with what happened. And I know there's 95% of people are like, nope, Brian did it. He's the only one. He's the sole one and has nothing to do with anything else. Yes, I know. Adam was the bartender. Thank you. Star Child. Yes. But she just confided all of this information and all of this stuff to Adam. And the guy with her was like, they're not, they're going to get you. So whatever she told them, whatever she told Adam, it had to have been pretty bad or it had to have been not good. And then next thing you know, this tragedy happens. So I'm not saying Brian didn't have nothing to do with it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that moment sticks out in my mind for a reason. I did. I did. I literally had to I was like, I cannot even talk about this case in the beginning. Like I was like, I can't. It was so insane that I was like, I seem to think differently than a lot of people. And I was like, people are not gonna get it. But I'm glad that, we can sit here and we can discuss and we can have differing opinions and we can bounce these things off each other because to me that I I'm definitely going to be anxious for this trial, but I don't think I have a feeling that it's not going to turn out like people think that it is. Like I don't think there is a slam dunk, especially with the other DNA found in the house, found on the railing, the 3 DNAs found under Maddie's fingernails. I said to Chat, me and my husband were talking about it. I'm like, babe, do you really see a killer going somewhere and bringing a vacuum? I mean, I've never heard of that. I've heard of killers going into places and using the victims' vacuums. I've never heard of anybody actually bringing their own vacuum. Yeah, I feel that it's gonna be like that. Like it's gonna be like an OJ Simpson type thing. Because I just don't think that they have the slam dunk that they need. Like it could be a hung jury, there could be a mistrial, it could be anything like that. I don't see it turning out the way that everybody's hoping that it's going to. And don't get me wrong, there's something wrong with Brian's not right for sure. Like there's some sketchy ass shit about him and his family. Yes, it was Jack. Thank you. It was Jack. But I just between the text messages, well, first of all, let me start between that clip that I was just talking about of Jack, Kaylee, and Maddie walking and talking, and then the 911 I'm sorry, and then we get these text messages and we have the 911 call, no mention of the blood, no mention of us, any blood at all during this whole call. Right, but he is too OCD to do this. The man separates his trash. I know Chad was like, he was like, well, what kind of freak, like wears gloves to do everything? What kind of freak does this? What does that? Like Brian does. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, he's definitely not right in the head, but you know, there's just something not right, guys. And that's all I wanted to say. The whole point of this, doing this live, was to just point out these things and say, listen, does this make sense to you? Because this doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, the crime scene was definitely not an OCD crime scene. I've always thought BK was the cleaner. Yeah, we don't know, guys. That's what I'm saying. We don't know. And especially with these lapses in time between the surviving roommates, you know, uh, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I really appreciate you guys being in here and, sharing your thoughts on this. I have not either. I have not either. I actually saw a video or a thing on X the other day, a picture where somebody was like, clearly this is not his car. They were pointing out, they were like, this isn't even a freaking Elantra. But again, that was just somebody's post on X. I'm going to get some more stuff together. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some more stuff together and I'm going to have everything that I want to talk about and that I have that backs up what I'm saying. And then do another live with you guys because, will you send it to me? Send me, if you guys have things, just send it to me. You can send it to me on X. You can send it to me on Instagram. You can send it to me my email, which is thecnyfamily@gmail.com. But yeah, I'm going to get all this stuff together and do another live. But I just wanted today to talk about the 911 call and the text messages. It doesn't sit right. Something is not right with me. And I'm sorry, something's not right. So let me hear your thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you guys being here and I appreciate all your thoughts and opinions. Yeah, I was like, maybe I'm just missing something. Like maybe I'm just not, because I don't see it like other people, like half of the world sees it, So let me hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Yeah, Lexi, me too. Same here. But let me hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you guys can find me that clip and send it to me or anything else you can send to me, just send it to me and we will discuss it I'll do a live tomorrow morning if you guys want to talk about it. If I can get all my stuff together by then, but I'll definitely post it and let you guys know. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Let me hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay safe. Keep asking those hard questions. Keep spreading that light. And I will see you all next time. Thanks, guys.